Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome. Just still shuffling, getting ready for the next reading. My name is Sadhana. For those of you that are new to my channel, these readings are for your card for 2021. And one of the things that I want to mention in these readings is that I really feel like they're tapping into the energy of now. And so they're helping us to understand how we can really initiate this year. So yeah, so thank you, My Voice Tarot, for the super chat at the end of the last reading. Yeah, so this reading is for the wheel. And if you look to the center of this reading, we have the weavers here. So this is from Norse mythology. And there's something really magical about this wheel card. It just the name, the weavers, reminds me so deeply of the energy of the Weaver's Oracle itself. It looks a little bit like the Fates, but there's something about deep ancestral knowledge, deep ancestral wisdom, and the fact that these crones are okay. So I'm going to put this one on the top. This is the jumper for this suit. So this is the suit of air, and so the suit of air. Oh, I'm just looking at the artwork. It's just amazing. It's the Page of Swords. There's something very similar in the energy of the, it's almost, can you see this one? It's almost like the page is light weaving. Look at the energy between the hands. That's really cool. I haven't shuffled this one yet, nor the Oracle deck over there. I'll do that. So let's talk about the number 10 in a 5-year. So number 10, generally speaking, I find that in a 10-year, this is the year to make sure that you have a moon journal. It's the year to make sure that you have if you live near the ocean, you have an app for the tide tables, or you have a link to the tide tables on your phone. It's the year to really tap into the natural cycles of the world. It's the year to start studying astrology, or Western astrology, or Vedic astrology. You know, it's the year of really embracing cycles, natural cycles. And the more that you can, especially when I'm looking at this card here, I'm thinking like, okay, so if you don't know what the wheel of the year is, even if you're not a pagan, even if you know, the wheel of the year has so much medicine for all of us. And of course, you know, we even amplifying and understanding, perhaps studying some of your own traditions, looking back to maybe family traditions that you don't practice anymore, right? The wheel is a year of bringing natural, traditional cycles into sync with your life. And so this is a year of a 5-year. So I'm going to go to the Hierophant for this one, because it feels like you would benefit from being a student of any of these things. And if you teach any of these things, perhaps this is about expanding your knowledge so that you can deepen your experience with the wheel. I think that having this card for 2021 will feel really good, like these two cards together. And if we add, yeah, it feels good. So I anticipate a reading that feels one of knowledge based. It could also be spiritual based, but I think there's a lot. It feels like an investigation, a year of investigation for you. So I'm just going to go to the oracle over here, which is Pegasus for you. So you can see Pegasus is partially revealed. I have a funny story about this card. I don't know if I have time to share it in this particular reading. So the keyword is wellspring. The element is ether. One of the most adored and admired mythological creatures, Pegasus is the quintessential fantastic being to represent the original and bountiful source of inspiration and creativity. Glorious, brave, and ardent, Pegasus bestows determination and courage to glide through the complex and difficult tasks of life. Do not be afraid when the sun begins to fade. The caverns plunge and the mountains multiply. Instead, embrace its fervor. Raise your hands to the sky and see where your journey will take you. This is the wellspring of life. So really about embracing all the stages of the journey. And so I want to ask you, if this is your card, what's the next step? What's the next step that you want to explore? Oh, that's awesome. I see my voice tarot's comment about Julianne. So Julianne is a beautiful energy. And if you haven't seen her gone to her YouTube channel, she does both Vedic and Western astrology. And she gets a lot of really amazing messages. I'm just going to go back and greet everybody who's come into this chat. And I know, Jen, you'll be here for the devil. The devil is the final one that I'm going to do for tonight. Okay, let me see here. You were thinking about my connection with tradition. Yeah, I would love to share some of that with you in a future video. Okay. So with respect to lineages and all of that, yes, I'd be happy to share that with you at some time. Okay, excellent. So thank you for those of you that are here live. Let's carry on. This Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is seeking knowledge. And the thing that I was talking about, I don't know whether this knowledge this year will be spiritual or more leaning to book knowledge. It feels like almost like a beautiful union of those two things. Like we don't need to separate them. And I find that kind of a blessing, actually, because if we find that harmony between the left and the right brain, it just makes things so much easier. We don't have to struggle, you know? So this is your Pentacle card for 2021. This is the Knight. This is a deep, deep exploration. Okay, let's see what we've got going on here. And there's going to be some plant medicine here that will really support you. I can tell. We have this card again. Okay, so this is the Four of Wands. I love this card. Okay. There's something very mystical about this wheel year for you. So here's where I'm going to go with this. I'm going to suggest that the expansion of knowledge, if you were to choose something mystical, I mean, you got Pegasus here, for crying out loud. So I want you to kind of think about the most mystical thing that you have considered studying. And I wonder if they're in your lineage. I'm wondering if in your lineage, there is a history of mystical, um, mystical, mystical people. I'm just thinking because of this connection here in the Four of Wands. Interesting. Okay, so over here we have loss. So that's not an easy card to reflect upon. And so we are in, right? This is a year of change. It's a year of cycles. And one of the things for me that feels really important here is to, if there were a year to, like, the wheel is always turning, and sometimes it turns a little more quickly than at other times. And you know, when we feel like we're in a challenging period, it seems to turn more slowly. Then when we feel its slowness, when we feel its lethargy, you also have the lethargy of the Knight of Pentacles here, right? The Knight of Pentacles wants you to take your time each step of the journey. What were the words on the Pegasus card? I think that said it quite well. Through the complex and difficult tasks of life, do not be afraid when the sun begins to fade. The caverns plunge and the mountains multiply. Instead, embrace the fervor. I see this like as embracing the magic and the mystical to help you move through this. Let's look at the other two cards and kind of weave this all together. Okay, so living your potential. Maybe your potential is to be a witch. Maybe your potential is to add some of this magic. Maybe your potential is to become an astrologer. Maybe your potential is to work with others in this mystical capacity. So I would just really, I mean, this is a pretty powerful card. And let's go to your plant medicine. So your plant medicine is, oh my God. Okay, so your plant medicine is mandrake. So I would register at Hogwarts tomorrow and see where that takes you. Mandrake is such an amazing plant. Let's just go to a couple of the summary points here for mandrake. Interesting. So it's odd that one of the keywords is wealth. But what that is making me think of is that you could actually make money from this. You could actually make money in this business. Sorry, I missed a couple of your comments. Let's see. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you connected to what I said about the astrology and so forth. You know what? It's really nice to have a cheerleader. Thank you. Yeah. It's funny, Andrew. It's a really interesting conversation that I have never explored on my channel, so I'd be happy to do that. So I just want to read you a couple things here. The card shows mandrake and deadly nightshade growing together. Byrony trails across the trees behind, and Celtic gold coins reminiscent of the mandrake's yellow or orange berries lie on the ground. The ability to assuage pain is mandrake's greatest gift to humanity, easing pain in others. So maybe the possibilities are endless, but this could be about creating teas. It could be about some kind, like creating tinctures for people. But there's a component to this particular reading that is about a deep study, like taking this really seriously, like find a mentor, find a teacher. And this whole business of cycles and changing, and then part of your process part of your process this year is to feel the pain, of the loss, so that you can understand what others are going through. And learn about Mandrake, learn about other plant pain relievers. You know, like there's something very, very witchy going on here. And I think this is really, really beautiful. The whole thing feels like this next turn of the wheel may take you a little bit out of your comfort zone. It's like I feel a weight, you know, like those wheels that have I don't know what they have on them, but as they turn, something kind of pulls it down. It's got I don't even know what I'm talking about. I can see it in my head, but you know, like the next little pull, the next little tug is going to be a little bit challenging. Oh, that's so awesome. You're on your way. Okay, good. Well, I am glad this resonated with you. And some of these readings I will, I'll go back to and I'll think about more. I just want to, I want to give you one more thing here. I really want to go get the Earth Flesh book, which should be right here, because I would love to give you a little bit of Avalon's words about the Knight of Pentacles. That is not a card that has come up a lot for me as I've been working with this deck. So just let me share with you a couple of words from the amazing Avalon Cameron. Okay. The daughter of the serpent has a gift for speaking the primal language of the serpentine force. Didn't I tell you to register for Hogwarts? Isn't that what Harry Potter wasn't? Harry, well, he was a parcel tongue, right? This is since her youth, the reptilian world has enchanted this mystical being, and since her youth, she has been able to understand their every word. This strange bond turned the eye of many, and the world around her believed that she was under the force of the serpentine world. Little did they know that instead she held sway over the world of reptiles. Ooh, so another possibility would be to, like become a horse whisperer or a dog whisperer or something like that. Like this is just a year of magic. That's all I've got to say. When she was sad, they would come. So when she was sad, the reptiles would come. When she was angry, they would come. When she was misunderstood, they would rise to meet her adversary. Soon the world around her understood. They understood that she was a primal force to be reckoned with, and that no man or woman should cross an elemental of her caliber. When the Knight of Pentacles appears in a reading, it can suggest a time of increased responsibility. This responsibility is welcome and merely a part of your next evolution. So I want to ask you, maybe, what is your responsibility? What is your responsibility to the community? And My Voice Tarot, I know you've been doing your Kwanzaa readings, and so this is a really potent question for you. So what is your magical, mystical responsibility to the community? big question, right? And same for all of you who have this particular wheel. Very, very focused, I think, and potent reading for you. So lots to ponder over the next couple of weeks as you slowly digest this message. So thanks for being here. And if there's other stuff that's come up, please write a comment below. You can always, sometimes it's hard until they have processed to find the videos, but write it down in your journal, and then you can come back and write a comment once the video has processed and gone up on my channel. So thanks so much for being here. I guess I should check in case there's any other questions. I have a moment. Let's see here. Let's see here. So this is a good question. So you're a 16, yes. So you should also check the Chariot video for sure. Yeah, because the Chariot is it's a correlation. Excellent. You'll be the next dragon whisperer. I know there's need for dog whisperers, that's for sure. Yeah. Okay. So I'll see some of you later this evening, and the rest of you, if you have any questions or comments, please leave that below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Namaste and Happy New Year.